suit for you. It's Lifetime Network, you darling man. I can see that, but that's all right. You got a lot of people going to work on education here for you. I wanted y'all for Bruce Shine here, I know remembers my daddy. He was a great bourbon drinker and tobacco racketeer. And he was a yellow dog Democrat. And some of you might remember Mother. She was quite colorful, and she was a yellow dog Democrat, and they had me, and I am a yellow dog Democrat. Now, when we grew up, I had to sit through the Vietnam War every night of my youth. And that Vietnam War weighed heavy on our dinner table. And I grew up addicted to the news of our country and the world. And I am still addicted to the news of the world and my country. And it still weighs heavy on my dinner table. And we had an AFL-CIO ashtray on our kitchen table. Now, I remember I was 5 or 6. Okay, that's not true. I was 7 or 8. Somebody clocked me on that. These people. I was a little girl. And I was ever so clever, and there was a man that I thought was great on the TV, and I said, oh, I like him, don't y'all? It was Barry Goldwater. Oh. And my parents turned around and simultaneously yelled, no! And looked at me like I'd been mixed up at the hospital. Now, my parents participated. And they made me participate. As a young woman, I was forced to work in Tom Weissman's campaign and Jim Sasser's campaign. And I knew at an early age that a democracy was for all of us. Not some of us, all of us. And I've been asked here, so I'm going to talk to you. And I think there's some things we've got to address. When I say the word union anymore, it's like I'm saying a dirty word. If I say good benefits, good pay, good pension, it's like I've uttered a string of curse words. The GOP is stealing your language and your country, word by word. And I want my language back, and I want my country back. Amen. Now, I'm not saying that I'm one of them, but Hill people have long been noted for their common sense. And I don't know what happened, but I want you to know something. Your air is poison. From east to west. Your water is poison, and I can prove it. Bunch of us middle-aged broads up in Irwin and Greenville. Y'all know he was the only other impeached president, right? Greenville. Thank you. Bunch of middle-aged broads, we got together and we're suing. We are suing because the Nola-Chucky River, which we tested on our dime and was expensive. State wouldn't listen, feds wouldn't listen, and we're going to sue them, and I'm telling you, there's going to be a reckoning on my little Nola-Chucky. 4 towns drink from that. 4 towns. And I have this really good friend up on the plateau, and every time I lose temper with him, he says, Park, I'm nearly 70. And he has the smallest, the most lovely little carbon footprint. And he only gets 3 channels up on the plateau. You know what he does in session? He watches the Tennessee legislature all day long. Can you imagine? So he keeps me up on everything going on. In the last few weeks, we've got some of my favorites. stomp transgenders into mud holes. I just think that's excessive myself. Don't say gay in the schools. Okay, let's just let those little children who don't know what's going on suffer alone. Fine. This Cantfield down here in Knoxville wants the children to bring guns to the classrooms. And he's a slumlord, in case anybody cares. And then your boy up here that y'all are so fond of, Matthew Hill. Okay, he wants, these guys that give abortions have got to have hospital privileges. Okay? But now understand, to have a vasectomy, you can go to a clinic. And when I had my Botox and my lips done, I went to a clinic. Okay, I didn't have to go to the hospital or have a doctor that did. Good grief. All of these laws are made to do one thing: denigrate, shame. They're full of hatred, they're full of violence, and it's purity of meanness. It's cruelty. It's ruthless Republican smoke and mirrors, and it has to stop. It's a dance with the devil, and it's taken down your country. And it's embarrassing our state. I've had it. So this fat guy on the radio that my mother would call horrible, horrible, he calls that little girl a slut. So I rushed right over to Fox News. And those Easter eggs are sitting there saying, well, what do we know about her? Why didn't they choose a poor girl? Who is she really? And I thought, I hope they are paying you Easter eggs a lot of money. And I thought, it don't matter how much they're paying you. Ain't no amount of money makes that madness right. Now, Bob Corker, since I'm going to run against him, voted for the Blunt Amendment. And I want somebody in here, anybody help me with this. Why is my womb attached to a transportation bill? People about that, and they say, Park, it's just done that way all the time. Oh, really? Well, I think we need to work on that. I think I'd have a lot of fun working on that in Washington. I surely do. And this Bob McDonnell, this caricature of a politician over here in Virginia, says he does not know what is transvaginal. Ladies, let's not show him. This Mitch McConnell, does he not just look like he landed at Plymouth Rock? Okay, and that one, Daryl Issa, and he doesn't want a woman on the birth control panel. Now let's face it, because I can be mean. His head ain't shaped right, and you know it. I want to talk about our vets, because I've got so many here. Daddy's great vet story, and he was the old guys that don't talk, so I got the stories from other people, but they were come up on by a big old warship, and they were playing poker. The historian in town said, Jack, what'd you do? He said, I went back and finished the game. We've got these kids being sent to tribal countries. I'm fine with tribal peoples. It's fine with me. But we're telling them we're going to bring them freedom and protection from their own religious masters' excesses. Oh, really? If that were true, why aren't they saving women and children in Sierra Leone? Can no one speak the truth? Can no one do it? I don't understand where my country went. Where did the old line Democrats go? Are you here? Are you here? We can't be afraid anymore. We're sending those kids over there. They're coming back tore to pieces. PSTD, suicide out the roof. And this is America? And we're letting this happen. Now, I got a handyman, and if I fuss at him, he just yells back. And I guess Afghanistan did it to him. What he said, that in the last few years, the VA got a whole lot better, and I guess we have to thank you for that. And I'm a big enviro, take it or leave it, but the idea that any job is better than the slow death of your children is just BS. I'm sorry. They can do it in European countries, we can do it here. And I have always said, I've always said, George Bush, we was playing poker with him and he stole the money. And then he come back in and he took the card table. And then he come back in and he took a chair. He ain't taking my carpet. Now he is not going to take what is left of our foundation, and that's up to us. It's up to us, and it's an awesome responsibility. It's on us. So we must unite. We must come together. And I wanted you to know that when I was an actress and just was so successful and just thought I was the cutest thing, I ran into a novelist, a very famous novelist, a very serious man. And this very serious man represents abused children. So what does he do? He writes gumshoe novels to pay, for children have no money. And he said to me, Park, what you do isn't real. And I knew it was true. It was true for me. And I learned something from him. Truth is truth. Truth is a tough warrior. Truth is behavior. And it's on us. They pushed us in a corner, let's get out of it. It's a reckoning, let's do it.